First question is a general one. Of all the issues in this campaign, Iraq, the economy, gas prices, what do you think is the most important issue?
Oh, I'm sure it's the economy, and right now the part of the economy that people are hurting the most is gas prices. But it's health insurance, it's home ownership, it's availability and affordability of health care. So there's a number of issues, but right now, according to the town hall meetings that I have been holding, understandably, every time they go to the gas station, they feel the effects. So right now it's gas prices, but it's the economy and the economy and the economy.
In 1969, President Nixon said that we need to develop a new energy policy to eliminate our dependence on foreign oil. Obviously, that hasn't happened since then. What would you do differently to limit our dependence on foreign oil?
Well, we'd have to embark on a national mission, but we also have to get government out of the way. But we also have to invest perhaps pure research and development funds into new technologies. Look, we got to let 1,000 flowers bloom. We got to allow drilling off oil exploration off of our coasts. We've got to reduce and eliminate the barriers to nuclear power. We've got to do wind, tide, solar, a battery that'll take a car 200 miles. Let's order a big award for that. We've got to embark on a national mission. Americans want that now. They really do.
You talked about the $300 million reward for someone who comes up with a better car battery.
Sure.
That's a unique approach. Why do you think that'll work?
Well, you know, one of the things about it's not too unique. Charles Lindbergh was motivated to fly from the United States to Paris because it was a $25,000 prize. That was a lot of money back in those days. So we have had that kind of incentives before, but we need to provide every possible incentive, including government research and development, investment in pure research and development.
Now, you mentioned health care. There's some people outside protesting your health care plan. They say that it would not bring more people into the system that are currently not insured. What do you say to that criticism?
In all due respect, they're wrong. I don't think governments run any systems well, including health care. I've seen that in other countries. We need to provide incentives for people to acquire and to keep health care and keep it down. We also need to have government-approved plans to take care of the so-called uninsurables. That's a federal and state partnership. But we also need to, I think, give every American family a $5,000 refundable tax credit to buy an insurance policy of their choice wherever they want to. Now, some will say in response to that very quickly, well, that's not enough. Well, it's about $5,000 more that small businessmen and women all over the state of Indiana have. So we've got to keep health care affordable and available and preserve the quality of health care. Government takeovers of health care, as Senator Obama's plan would lead to, is not an efficient way to do business. Look at other countries where that's the case.
Now, I've looked on your website at your health care plan point by point, and one of the points is to lower the price of prescription drugs and to make them go generic faster. Mm-hmm. One of the largest employers in Indiana is Eli Lilly, which you wouldn't think would benefit from that, nor would the 40,000 people that work for Eli Lilly. What would you say to those companies and to those people who depend on those companies?
Well, I'd say to Eli Lilly and Pfizer and the other major pharmaceuticals in America, they have basically been responsible for every scientific advancement in the development of pharmaceuticals in this in 50 years at least. And so I respect them and admire them. I also believe that that competition over time, such as generic drugs, is the right thing to do. But they are the backbone of the medical technology advances as far as pharmaceutical drugs are concerned. The future of this nation depends on them. And I don't want to harm them, but I do think that our first priority is to give Americans the lowest cost, best quality pharmaceuticals that we can find.
The other day, General Wesley Clark said that your military experience doesn't count as far as being commander-in-chief. How important do you think it is to have served in the military to take over as commander-in-chief?
Well, I think it's helpful, but we've had great presidents who have had little or no military experience. But I think in these times, particularly since we're in 2 wars and face the threat of radical Islamic extremism, that having a military background and being involved in every national security challenge. It wasn't just serving in the military, it's having a major role in the development and implementation of national security policy. Senator Obama 4 years ago was in the Illinois State Senate, and he's been wrong about Iraq, he's been wrong on other national security issues, and he's wrong today. And I'm glad he's going to take his first trip in over 900 days to Iraq. It's inconceivable to me that he should that he should have the ambition to lead this country and not ever having asked for a sit-down briefing with General Petraeus. Remarkable.
You brought up Senator Obama, and it leads to my next question about spouses in the campaign. Your wife was featured on the cover of Newsweek last week. Mrs. Obama has been appearing on television shows. What role do you think spouses should play in a presidential campaign?
Well, I think they play a role, and I think that there's certain importance. And I admire Michelle Obama, Mrs. Obama, enormously. I think she is a fine mother. I know that Cindy shares that view and is a fine role model. I have the greatest respect and admiration. I have admiration for Senator Obama. It's just that we have stark differences of views.
I have one more question for you. Indiana has gone Republican in the last 10 presidential elections.
God bless them.
Do you take us for granted, or do you think you're going to have to work hard here to make it 11?
I'm going to have to come here. A lot of citizens are hurting. The automotive industry difficulties have certainly affected this state. There's a number of other economic challenges. So I'm going to have to come here and campaign, and frankly, it'll be a great pleasure to do so.
Senator,
Thanks.
thank you very much.
Thanks for seeing me.